Well, as we all know, there are many transitions in life, and what I'm going to tell you about tonight happened many years ago. The following are memories of how my entire life was affected by the year I spent in Japan 54 years ago. It is a story that has at least 4 parts: the long flight to Japan, my 1-year stay in Tokyo, the return journey from Japan by ship, and the subsequent re-entry into life in America. Each segment in itself had a profound effect on me, but it was interaction among the segments that was the most fascinating to me. I begin with a journey home from Japan aboard ship. With the passage of shipboard time, I expected the memories of the year spent in Japan to begin to fade, to soon be replaced by the familiar images of life in America. Instead, the 10 days spent on board ship after leaving Japan had a life of its own that had little to do with either Japan or the United States. Consequently, as the ship neared the port of Seattle and the fog lifted, I saw before me a country that looked almost as foreign to me as the one I had gaped at 1 year ago. My first trip to Japan was made in 1956 when there were no non-stop jets to the Far East. I flew there in 3 giant hops: San Francisco to Hawaii, Hawaii to Wake Island, Wake Island to Japan. Through the hours of flight, my senses were bombarded with new sights and sounds and smells that ranged through time and space. When I reached my final destination, Haneda Airport in Tokyo, the new sensations came so fast that faces and sounds were blurred, and I felt adrift, yet excited by the challenge of making Tokyo my home for a year. As the days passed, distinct faces emerged from the masses of people, and I wondered how I could have been so blind. Separating the foreign sounds into words, I began to use them for my own. I traveled freely throughout my neighborhood and then the larger environs in the sprawling city of Tokyo, marveling at, then adapting to the ever-present taxis and the clogged but marvelously on-time trains. I visited the shops near my home on daily outings, buying a few perfect persimmons in one tiny shop, a packet of tea in another, 3 or 4 hand-selected flowers in still another, bowing all the while in familiar rituals with the shopkeepers. When we entered our home, nestled behind a walled-in garden, we left the outside world behind, symbolically leaving our street shoes in the special entryway just inside the outside door. The world inside our home was made of rice paper and bamboo, carved woods and straw matting that in their natural simplicity rejected anything made of plastic, the way a body would reject a foreign object. There was a scroll with scenes of the countryside displayed in a recessed area called the